been in this place several times where I've had a manager or an owner of a company that has hired me to come and help them build a team with the people that they have. I've got a client right now that has hired me specifically to help them build a team. They've got about 18 employees in their company. And man, it's a wonderful company. They do great stuff. It didn't take me very long of talking to the other employees that they had for me to come back to the owners and say, all right, I've got an answer. I know how we're going to do this. They were all excited about how they were going to build a team. I said, well, there's about 8 of these guys that you need to fire today because you will never be able to build a team with these people. I think it shocked them. They were like, oh my gosh, Clay, we can't get rid of them. I don't know, Clay. They've been with us for so long, and they had all kinds of reasons to keep them around. But the problem is that those people were never going to become a part of their team. Just wasn't going to happen. So now that we've been with them for 14 months, they have now fired the 7th one. They have 1 more to go. All right, they have 1 more to go. And how about this? The last one is their son. Okay, it's going to be tough. All right, it's going to be tough to get rid of that last one. But they're just not going to be able to build a team with them. So I get it. There are people that are not interested in being a part of a team. We call those sucking consumers. And they will probably remain as a sucking consumer for a long period of time. However, as a star employee, you begin to understand what it takes to be a great employee. You understand the work, you understand the mindset, and I promise you, you will be able to begin to identify this mindset and this work ethic in people that are around you. And with those people, those are the folks that you want to begin to identify as, I think I want to start building something with this person. I'm not their boss yet, but I want to begin starting to collaborate with them. If there are team projects, I want to do what I can to get on their team so we can begin doing things together. Hopefully that makes sense as you begin to take a look and begin to evaluate different workers that are around you. Because again, how you see them is going to be how you will treat them. So once again, say this with me, okay? If you want it done right, get other people to do it with you. All right? That's the important thing. Get other people to do it with you. And there will be many that are around that are within your influence that you can get to come alongside you and do it with you. As you move from seeing them as just as competitors or losers or something like that, begin to see them as sons like you. Begin to draw them and building that relationship. I promise you, if you don't see them as sons, if you see them and you're mad at them and you're afraid of them and you're isolated from them, you're not going to be able to build them on. You're not going to be able to bring them onto your team. You're not going to be able to get them to follow you, okay? Unless you just threaten them, all right? You can keep them here in this level. Yes, people do follow other people because they have to, or else they will lose their job. It is very possible, okay? But we just don't want to stay at that level. So in this level of winning in the workplace training, we're going to focus on how to make this shift in how you see and how you view other workers. There's going to be several different topics that we're going to go over here. We're going to take a look at some of the key mindsets and some of the key action steps. All right, again, it's important at each of these levels. It's not only important to learn how to think, all right, but we also have to learn how to act, how to do. Clay, how do I need to think and how do I need to act? If I just spent all the time telling you how to act, but you never changed your mindset, I promise you, the way to act would never become genuine. The way to act would never be long-standing. It would only work for a certain amount of time. And as soon as you got under pressure, you would fall back to the way you think. And you will begin treating people the way you have possibly always treated people. Because under pressure, you go back to the reality. You go back to your belief system when you're under pressure. That's why so many times we've read this book and we've gone to this workshop and we've done this thing, we've heard this great stuff, but why do I keep going back? Why do I keep doing the same stuff? Because it's not about what you know. It's about what you believe that determines your actions. That's huge. It's not just about what you know. It's about what you believe that determines your actions. So we need to make sure that as we are moving up the ladder of success, that our mindsets begin to change. And again, I promise you, if at this level you continue to look at other people as either just friends okay? They were just co-laborers just doing the work together. Or if you see them as competitors, then when you become a manager, you won't be able to get them to follow you, because when you ask them to do something, they'll look at you as a friend and they'll go, well, all of a sudden you're Mr. High Mighty. You're thinking you can just tell me what to do and all that kind of stuff. Because we didn't learn how to build a team. Or if they don't look at you that way, they'll look at you as a competitor. And they'll always be looking at how to undermine you, how to keep you from being successful, because if you're out of that position, they can move in that position. So we're going to be learning these things. There's several things I've listed here. We're going to learn how to gain position in the eyes of others. Man, that's a very, very valuable lesson that we need to learn. Also, the 5 steps to building trust. How about this? Building team players. Because I want you to know, as I said a moment ago, some people are not team players. And you need to be able to identify who's a team player, who's not a team player. And you want to build a team with people that are team players. As a coach, I had to experience this, had to go through this multiple times. I remember when I first became a soccer coach at our high school. All right, I didn't know a ton about soccer, but they needed a head soccer coach. Sure, I'll go do it. So I became the soccer coach, and they had not won a game in 3 years. 3 years. Over. So again, I didn't feel a lot of pressure. But as soon as I stepped on the field the very first day, I realized why they hadn't been winning games. They were all just a bunch of stars. They were all just a bunch of individual athletes that were out there playing. Weren't really interested in playing together at all. In the first week, I kicked 7 guys off the team. 7 guys off of the team. And of course, these were the guys that weren't real bad. These were the guys that everyone else looked at that were their good players. But I could tell immediately they were not interested in being a team. They were just there for themselves. I would ask them to do things, they wouldn't do it. I would ask them to do something else, very small things, but they wouldn't do it. So I began to get rid of people one at a time. And at the end of the first week, I'd gotten rid of 9 players. I think 9 players I'd gotten rid of in that first week. It was very difficult, but we began to build a team with the group that we had left. And man, I remember the first game that we won that season, we actually got written up in the Kansas City Star. I was calling everybody, hey, we won. It was huge. We won our first game. And over the next 4 years, to see that team going from never winning a game to begin to win, to become winners. Now, we didn't go win a state championship or anything like that, but we became a winning team. It was all about finding people that could be part of a winning team, not just individuals. So we're going to talk about how to build team players. And how about this? Number 4, we're going to learn how to recognize traitors before they actually give you up. Oh, that's going to be huge. It's actually possible to do it. I promise you, with every team, there's going to be one, at least one, Judas in the group. The question is, do you know who it is? Because if you're not careful, you will give your emotions, you will give your trust to them. And then when that person betrays you, it'll wound you, it'll hurt you, it'll be such a surprise. And I want to help you. I want to help protect you from that, okay? Now again, it doesn't mean that you fire them. It doesn't mean that you get rid of them. Just you identify them. So that if something does happen, you're not all freaking out. But when it happens, and I've been in this situation before, when it happens, you'll go, yep, saw that coming a long time ago. No problem, I've already got a plan in place. We're going to move them out. We're going to move this person here and do X, Y, and Z. So I want to help you be able to identify that traitor long before they actually wound you and hurt you. And you might even be able to head them off, okay, and change their direction before they get there. Next of all, the 7 super moves for connecting with your team. I love this. 7 super moves. I want to teach you what I call the Jedi mind trick, okay? It's actually possible to get into somebody's mind, run around, find out what they are thinking, and get out without them even knowing that you were there. It's also possible to get into somebody's heart and discover what is in their heart, what are their passions, what are their desires, and get out of their heart, and they didn't even know you were there. And now you can lead them knowing what they're thinking and what they're passionate about. And again, it's not just sitting down and go, well, tell me what you think. What are you passionate about? That usually doesn't work. I want to teach you this Jedi mind trick, the 7 power moves. And then also how to draw people to you, how to get people to walk across fire for you. I had an opportunity with a group of college kids, about 50 college kids were with me we were working at a summer camp, and I was the director. We were working at a summer camp, so they would kind of come back year after year to this summer camp. We were paying them a salary to come during the summer. Over time, I began to realize as the director that, man, we were spending a ton of money in 2 months on a bunch of workers that really were not that good. We were overpaying. And I began to wonder, how could we get to a point where we could change our bottom line? And what I did was I began to change the philosophy of the summers. I began to change the philosophy. I began to build teams. Rather than just producing a job description, I actually began to produce a team. And after just a few summers, we were able to come to this group. It's about 50 of them. And catch this. I told them, next summer when you come back, I'm not going to pay you. As a matter of fact, not only am I not going to pay you, but you're going to pay me. And 86% of them came back the next summer because they saw the value of being a part of the team. So I want to teach you how to do that. Not necessarily how to no longer pay your employees, but I want to teach you how to build the value of being connected to you. It's very, very powerful. That's like rare air when you're in that level of team builder. So again, as we move forward on this, it's not so much about just learning about leadership, okay? Because leadership is one thing, but this first thing that we have to learn is followership. We have to learn how to get people to actually follow us. So here you are as an employee. You're a great employee. You're doing good. You've got your name up on the wall a few times for being the employee of the month. But you're going, okay, I want to do more. I want to stand out. I want to get promoted. Some of the things you're going to need to do here are begin to learn to think like a team builder. Begin to learn how to gather people around. Don't be too quick to run after the manager position until you have learned how to do the team builder. I might have told you this story before, but I got an opportunity to speak in front of a group of about 500 government managers one time in Oklahoma City. 500 of them. And then we were talking about this very concept. And I asked them, how many of you guys, by a show of hands, raise your hand, tell me, how many of you guys actually went through a season in your life where you learned how to build teams? You didn't just go do a team activity on a weekend or a day, but you actually spent a season of your life learning how to be a team builder. You guys, 0 raised their hand. None of them raised their hand. And the very reason why they asked me to come and speak to them is because the biggest problem, the main problem that they were having is they were managers that couldn't get people to do what they wanted them to do when nobody had had any team building experience. So I want to save you from that. Number one, if you are a manager already, I want to help you by teaching you how to become a team builder, to add to your management. If you are a contributing worker, I want to help you become equipped with these team builder skills and team builder mindsets so when you do become a manager, you'll be prepared. It'll increase your capacity. Remember our circles. Increase your capacity to process greater complexity. We want to make sure that if you want it done right, we know how to get other people to do it with us. So this is what we're going to be talking about here in the second level of winning in the workplace, team building. I'm looking forward. I hope you were able to learn some things here in session number 1. I'm looking forward to session number 2. We've got a lot to go over and we're moving quickly. So once again, thank you so much for being with us. Look forward to seeing you next time.